G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. Today we're going to use another new mold. Look at this. Look what I've got. Now remember these are upside down so that when you turn them out, it'll be that way. So at the moment they're all upside down. So look, we have ocean life. We have little fishies. There's like a Nemo. There's a starfish. There's a crab. Another fish. I can't remember what. Oh, that's an octopus. It's an octopus. There's another fish. There's another fish. So there's two of everything. Then we go back around to the starfish on this side. So yeah, lots of fish. There's crabs, octopus, starfish, yeah, all kinds of things. So today I'm going to pour in that for the first time. And what I thought I would do is I'm going to use my little Chameleon powders to paint, or dust. I guess you can paint them. To do that in different colors. So I've picked some that aren't blue because I want to do like a blue resin background. So I've picked from these two intense Chameleon powders, I've picked the ones that aren't blue. So we've got Galaxy and Black Cherry. We have dark magenta and gold. And then there's the two greens. There's the regular green and the fairy green, which is like a pale green. So I'm going to use those. So I've just left out, I think there's blue and dark blue because I want to do a blue background. So I might use this one. Not sure yet. I don't want an opaque color, so I'm going to have to just mix a tiny little bit into a little container and just see if it's going to be transparent or not, because I want transparent. If not, I'll just use an alcohol ink, but we'll see if I can use that. So the other thing I want to do is I want to use one of my inlays. Now, if you've been following me or used my eBay store, you'll know that I sell sets of inlays. I have like a set of 4 flowers, set of 4 butterflies, set of 4 seashells, set of 4 like ocean themed ones. Where's my starfish? So I think I want to use my starfish today. Put him in the middle. If you wanted to, you could put a shell in the middle instead. If you wanted to put a shell in. Oh, maybe I should do a shell. I was going to do a starfish. And then see, there's actual fish as well. You could do like a few fish. Yeah, I don't know now. I don't know. I was going to just do the starfish. Maybe I should do a shell. I think the shell. Let's do the shell, you guys. See, they're not very thick, so they can easily go in. Let's do the shell. All right. Put you guys away. Yeah, so if you were, say for instance, you had bought my butterfly edge mold, you might like to put a butterfly in the middle. So yeah, or the flower mold, flower edge. There's lots of flower edge molds. You could put a flower in the middle. That would look pretty cool as well. So yeah, lots to choose from. See, there's this shell as well, which is also quite pretty. Maybe that shell. Gosh, now I don't know. All right, let's make a decision. These are my 2 shells. Oh, no, I'm thinking this one. All right. I need to clean it up because I haven't cleaned it from last time I used it. I should always clean everything before I put it back, shouldn't I? But I'll have to tidy that one up a little bit. It's got some resin stuck on the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my little circle here of microfiber, little eyeglass wipe thingy that I cut down to fit, just so that I don't get too much mica powder all over my mold. So I'm going to start dusting. And then, oh, that one's nearly empty. Oh, what's that one? Black cherry. Let's see if I've got another black cherry. I have got another one. I'm sure I've got another one in here. Black cherry. Okay. Put you away. There we go. Put you in there. Some colours I use more than others. That's the gold. Fairy green. And green. And magenta. So what I'll kind of try and do is just put, like, you know, not two greens next to each other. That doesn't matter. They don't have to be all precise if you want to put two greens next to each other, or you might want to do all green things, and we'll see how we go. So after I've done those, I'll just do a couple, and then I'll finish the rest without the video on, because you know, it'll take too long. Now if you were really very particular and you wanted to do different colors on the fish, you could do that, but I'm not going to be that specific today. I'm just going to get in there with my little brush. I'm using the little one today just because it's easier to get in, you know, rather than the big one. It's just easier to get into all these little nooks and crannies. So make sure you get into all of them. Take your time. Maybe go sit down at your workbench. Put the music on. I would normally do that, but like I said, I'm just going to do a couple here for you. And then I might actually take it and go and sit down and listen to some music. And then if you're going to change colours, just wipe your little brush so that you can then move on to the next colour. Look at that. Try to tap it off first. You don't want to get too much colour in there because it's just going to fly everywhere, and it means that you're going to have too much cleanup to do. So stick your brush in, tap it off, and then use what's left. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with a big mess. Once I've done this, I will take it over to my bin, trash can, and give it a bit of a blow. And or you can take it outside and give it a bit of a blow. So once I've done that, we'll move on to this one. But yeah, I'll finish this and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the shell in the center. So this is the gold. And the other thing you could do as well, like if you don't have one of these or you don't want to put one of these in, because when you unmold it, it is going to leave an indent, which is not a problem. You can just do a top coat. You know, you could fill just that area with some clear resin, or you could just do a top coat on the whole piece if you wanted it to be smooth. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, you will have that slight indentation from removing that. But yeah, the other thing you could do is once you've done all your fish, maybe you could just put in some shells, pretty shells that you've collected over time, put that in, and then maybe just do like a dark blue top coat so that when you turn it over, you've got shells in clear with a blue background. So, you know, there's all kinds of things you could do. So maybe that's an idea. Maybe I can do shells at some stage. All right, let me finish this and then I'll come back to you. All right, that's all done. Didn't take me very long, and I blew it out. So now I've got some little bit of dust everywhere, just a light little bit of dust in some places. So I'm just going to use my baby wipe, and I'm going to push down like that in between all the little sea creatures, just to kind of clean between them as well, like so. Try not to take the mica off when you're doing that, just in those little raised sections between them. And then I'll come back and do the middle in a minute after I've done these. It's not a difficult thing to do, you know, if you're struggling with your 3D blooms, or you just want to do something a bit different, but still have a little talking piece. It'd look great on your coffee table. If you don't want to use it as a coaster, you could just put it up on a plate stand and display it somewhere on your bookshelf. Maybe you'd want to put a photo in it if you went boating, or if fishing to the reef or something like that, and you want to put a lovely photo in it, that would look really pretty too. So lots of things you can do. Now this particular coaster isn't quite as deep as some of my flower ones. It's about 12 millimeters deep, so about ½ inch deep. So I am going to try my Platinum 360 Plus resin, just because I know I can unmold it later today. Rather than having to use a deep pour resin, which I would normally do on my other molds, my other sort of flower edged molds, because, you know, they are deeper. So you can see it's cleaning up really well. I wouldn't suggest that you grab a paper towel to do this, because it's quite rough and you will scratch your mold. If you're using baby wipes, don't use one with a lotion, like a cream. Just, you can get like really cheap cleaning wipes for your house, like, you know, cleaning wipes. You can use those because they don't have any oils in them. So make sure that's nice and clean, and then to dry it, just grab a clean microfiber and just kind of pat it dry like that, because your mold will pick up anything that's harsh. If you put your fingers on it, you know, it'll leave a mark. I see people that, you know, they put their cup in the center and they're putting resin in it. Like, you're going to leave a ring, guys. Silicone picks up everything. That's why we use silicone. So be careful with your molds, all right? Be careful. All right, I think that looks really good. Do you want to have a quick little look at them? Hopefully you can see. That looks so pretty. All right, so now what we need to do, I'm just going to move it out of the way. Now we've just cleaned that, so don't put that in there and then dust it. Put it over here. We'll dust it, and then we will carefully put it back in there. Otherwise, you're just going to make your mold all dirty again. Okay. All right. I have chosen dark magenta for this. Actually, maybe I'll do, because we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got some raised areas there. Maybe I can do the raised. Let's do that. Let's do the raised areas in one color, and then what else? Galaxy. I want them to be similar, but not too similar. You know what I mean? I don't want them to be like black and white. All right, so here we go. I might use the bigger brush today for this one. So just going to draw that on there, dust it on. Doesn't matter if it kind of blends with the one next to it. It's really not going to matter. Just, I think it'll look nice regardless. So whatever color touches your silicone first is the color that it will be. So if I had to go over these with another color, you wouldn't see that other color. You'd only see this color because it is touching the mold first. A little bit there, a little bit there. I'm just going on the raised bits. Okay, that'll do. Gone over that one. And you know, if there's areas you think, oh gosh, I've just gone over that a little bit too much in that other color, just wipe it off. No big deal. But yeah, like I said, we'll blend. We'll blend. All right, here we go with the other color. Now we'll just cover the whole piece with this one. Making sure you're going on the sides of that. Make sure you're getting the outer edges, like your side of your mold. I'm calling it a mold, but it's an inlay. It's still a mold. And along the top there, make sure everything's covered. Okay, nearly there. One more. Go around the outside, make sure that that's all done, because you're going to see that outer rim Okay, so that's done. Put my brush away. Now to clean your brush, you can just dip it in some isopropyl alcohol and then just clean it on a paper towel, just so it's ready to use next time. I'm going to take that and just blow it over there into my rubbish bin, into my bin. Clean that up. See how good a baby wipes say? All right, I'll clean this up. I'll be right back. All right, there we go. Can you see it changing colour yet? All right, so now we have to put it in here. Make sure that it's where you want it. I'm just looking at the amount of room I've got on the top versus the amount of room on the bottom. And there we go. Hopefully it'll be okay. Give it a press. Now you may get a little bit of resin underneath that sort of goes in underneath. It's stuck down pretty well, but look, sometimes it happens and it's not a problem. When we unmold, we can just easily snip off that little bit of resin that's gone underneath, if it has. And again, just make sure that you've cleaned up any little bits around there. And then I'll dry them again, because I can see that I've left like water droplets, so I'll just pat them dry. Just from the baby wipe, it's left little water droplets. Just pat those dry, and there we go. Isn't it looking amazing already? Okay, so I'm going to go and mix up my resin. The other thing I want to do is, because I'm using the Platinum 360 Plus, and I'm just going to pop it up there on my little trivet, just because I don't want it overheating. I want some airflow underneath, because I'm pouring it at its maximum. You know, its maximum's 12 mil, half an inch. So yeah, I just don't want to run the risk of it overheating. So we'll just lift it up like that, and I'll mix my resin and I'll be right back. So I opened the little tub and I put some on a stick, and I think it's quite opaque, so I'm not going to use it. I have decided to go with alcohol ink, and I'm going to do Sapphire Blue from Let's Resin. It's part of this pack. I've been rummaging through here, so it's a little bit messy, but it's part of the Let's Resin alcohol ink pack. You get 26 different colours in there. And there's also the See Deeper Sinker White. You know, that's a really good one for making all kinds of effects. So that's in there as well. And also an instruction booklet as well in there. So I am going to use the Sapphire Blue. Pop all that away. I'm not sure how many drops I'm going to need yet. We'll have a little look. They've got a safety on them, so you're going to push down and then twist. If it's not quite the shade I'm wanting, let's do 3 drops for now. If it's not quite the shade I'm wanting, I can add a different colour, maybe a bit of black if I want to make it slightly darker. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? I'm after more of a kind of a navy, I guess. I had in my mind. I didn't want it too bright, so I'm going to go and get some black. I don't think I'm going to need a whole drop of black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drip it onto a toothpick and just pop the toothpick in there. And we'll see how that goes. So you're better just to do it slowly, you know, if you want to have a deeper colour, rather than put a whole drop in and then you think, oh my gosh, it's gone too dark or too black. Okay, that's almost it. Do it again. I'd just rather do it this way then I can be sure of what colour I want. So I want like a deep colour, deep ocean colour. That's it. Look at that. And you can mix colors. You know, if you want something that's more teal, you can mix your blue and your green together. And then if you want it like a dark, deep green, then you can add a bit of black to your blue and green mix and get like a really deep sea green. So yeah, it's great to mix colors as well. So that's my black and my blue. Done skis. All right, I am just going to pop this in my vacuum chamber because I want it clear with no bubbles, and I will be right back. Resin is ready to go. Now you could, if you wanted to, use the Let's Resin Fast Cure resin. It is a thicker resin though. I do want to speak to Let's Resin about making a fast cure like this, but a thinner resin, a 2-to-1, for this, you know, for this sort of casting. I love it for 3D blooms, but because it's thicker, it tends to have more bubbles in it. So if we had like a fast cure that was a thinner resin, a 2-to-1, that would be great. But you can still use this in this mold as well. All right, here we go. Pouring it. I'm just going to actually pour it over the stick. I'm not going to let the stick touch though. Touch the inlay. Hopefully I made enough. Oh my gosh. If you wanted to as well, you could do a layer of resin, and then once that has sort of cured, you can come back and do a layer of sand. How cool would that look? Oh my gosh, you guys, I've mixed up just enough. Just enough. I'm going to go a little bit more. I did 150 grams of part A, and I did 65 grams of part B is what I did, because A is always heavier than B. If you're, and I'm still getting so many questions about it every day. If you're doing it by volume and you're looking at, you know, the little line, you would do obviously 150 grams of A, and you would do, sorry, 150 milliliters of A, and you would do exact half, 75 milliliters of B. But because I'm weighing it, and you can do either. You can weigh it, you can go by volume, you can do either. I've been weighing it for, you know, years now, and it's always worked for me. And I have got a chart up there as well. Hopefully you guys have seen my chart. All right, that's pretty full, that's pretty full. Okay, let's give it a quick, just a really quick little torch. Pop those bubbles. Shouldn't have too many bubbles because, like I said, I did use my vacuum chamber. If you don't have a vacuum chamber, I would suggest that you just use a thin resin. Let's Resin also do a deep pour resin, which is really thin, and it's, you know, it's bubble free, which would be great for this, but you just have to wait for 2 days. And I'm not very patient. That's why I want Let's Resin to do a thin resin that we can unmold quicker, because I'm not patient. All right, so we'll leave that to cure, and then I'll be able to unmold this in about 8 hours or so. All right, see you then. Alrighty, so I went off to have breakfast, came back, and it had flash cured, and there's a few little bubbles. You know how I said to you the resin might go underneath that inlay, so there's a few there. But yeah, I knew it was going to flash cure, that's why I put it up onto that. But look, it's, you know, it is what it is. If you're going to use a thin pour resin in a deeper pour, you have to kind of risk that. But anyway, let's get it out. Let's get it out. Oh, look at that. Wow, so exciting. Now with those little bubbles, I may be able to just, oh, that looks so pretty, you guys. All right, so you can see here where the resin has sort of gone underneath a little bit. I'm just going to put down a paper towel that I can put all my little bits onto it, and I can easily just take it to be thrown out. Now they're very thin little bits, and they generally just peel away really, really easily. And you can either do it now, or you can do it after the inlay has been removed. I do find it easier to just get rid of them now though, before you take that inlay out. You just get it like a neater edge. But look, it's so thin. It's a bit hard to do with gloves, but I don't want to leave any fingerprints on it, so you could do that too. Just lift it with that. Your little knife. Scrape them off. If the resin was a little bit thicker, it'd be so much easier just to peel it off, but it's quite thin little layer there. Just be careful not to damage your inlay. And always, when you're using a blade, always cut away. Don't pull towards you. Always cut away from yourself. Might be easier just doing that. Oh, flung it across the other side of the room. Might be easier just to tidy it up afterwards. All right, we'll get it out. Move that out of the way. We'll get it out, and then I can just go around with my blade and tidy up the edges, because a lot of it's just sitting on top of the silicone. So easy to lift up. Just sort of get one corner up like that. And there we go. Look at that. It's so pretty. Look at that. Now this one has got like a, it's not exactly shiny, so you have got like a slight matte finish there. But in saying that, you can, like I said to you earlier, fill this up with silicone. So I'm just going around with the edges here. Again, make sure that all your fingers are out of the way. If you slip, you don't want to be holding it like that. If you slip, you don't want to cut your finger. Make sure everything is out of the way. Look, I know it's common sense, but I'm just reiterating. Be careful if you're using a blade. Okay, get those little fingers out of the way. I think we're good there. I think that's everything. Oh, a little tiny bit there still. And there you go. Really easy to get any of that overflow out. So what you could do now, if you wanted to, is a top coat. I mean, if you want to leave it like that, you can, but obviously you've got that indentation there. So you could top coat that very easily. And also, see, I've got a couple of little bubbles there. If you top coated that, you'd get rid of those bubbles as well, which are in there. There's one. So I probably should. I probably should top coat it, shouldn't I? Oh gosh. It's so pretty though. Look. Alright, I'm going to go around and show you. Oops, there's a bit of loose bits there. I'm going to go around and show you what they all look like now. So there's our little crab. There's a fish. Octopus. Fish. Big goggly eyes. Another fish. There's like the little Nemo fish there. Another little fish. There's the starfish. Another fish. Crab. And it's repeated. So there you go. It looks so pretty. Love it. Love it. All right. Do I want to top coat it or not? I will give it a top coat. And where there's a couple of little bubbles that had clung to the edge there because it had flash cured, I'm just going to sort of open them up a little bit so that the resin can get into those little bubble holes. It's only because it's flash cured that's happened. Otherwise, they would have, you know, floated up to the top, and I would have been able to pop them. So we'll just go along there, basically just opening up that area where the bubbles are. Because once you've top coated, you're not going to see that, but you do need to open up that bubble area. Otherwise, the new resin's not going to go in there. If you know what I mean. All right, that's done. Let's mix up a bit more resin, shall we? Right, I have got a little bit of resin. I just mixed up 1 ounce. And we'll pour it over the top. So this will make our little shell, look at that, nice and shiny. Or it's doing it already. So we'll fill that up. Like so. Sorry, noisy dogs. My daughter's here for the weekend, and she came out through the front door to take her dogs out on the grass, and she said, "Oh, it's raining." And of course that started everybody off barking, so I do apologize. It's life. It's my home life. I'm not, as I've said before, I'm not a professional videographer. What you see is what you get. It's just me at home in my studio doing my hobbies that I love. So there you go. All right. So now I'm just going to spread this to the edge like so. Doesn't matter, I guess, if it runs down. Does it matter if it runs down? I'm just trying to get it to stay on top. Now this particular mold, it's not available yet in my store. I'm going to just do a little tweaking to it. This was just my little first time using it, but I do want to just do a couple of slight little improvements on it. So I'm just going to put it up on a piece of plastic on a little cup here. I'm just going to use that upturned cup like that, and yeah, let it kind of just drizzle down if it wants to. So I'm just pushing it to the edges with my stick, and I can see where the little holes are there, where the bubbles were. So what I'm going to do is just grab a toothpick and see, now it's gone. Now you see it, now you don't. So we're just going to flick that bubble out of the little hole. Might take a few turns to do. Just get them out, because sometimes the resin doesn't want to flow into them, so you just got to poke the resin into the little hole there. Might have to do it a few times to get the resin to run in, but we'll get there. And then those bubbles will just disappear like that. Do I have any others? No, we're good. We'll just finish this off. And yeah, it'll be really pretty once it's done. Really pretty. You can already see the color change happening in that shell there. Missed a little bubble. So I will, once this is done, I'll just cover it with my food net. Okay, that's it, got it. And that'll be it. I will come back to you and, you know, show you the finished product. I'll take it outside into the sun. It's raining at the moment, and it's overcast, so yeah, no sun today. But hopefully tomorrow I'll take it outside into the sun. Now if you're doing a top coat and your resin starts pulling away from the edges, or maybe pulling away from the middle, there's two reasons why that can happen. The first reason is that your resin is just too thin. You can wait till it thickens up and then have another go. Or you just haven't got quite enough on there yet. So put a little bit more on. But that's basically why, you know, it would do that. Okay, there we go. So I can give it a light little torching as well now, because there's no silicone. It's just resin. So I can give it a light little torching as well. All right, so that's it. Light little torching. Cover it with the food net. Make sure you're not going to get any hair and fluff and things into it, because it's got a nice, gorgeous, shimmery top now. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next day. I've come outside in the morning. The magpies are saying hello. They've come out the front. I just put it on a white bit of paper just so they could see the blue. I will take it off there in a minute so that you can see what it looks like without the blue as well. But there's all the little fishies and crabs and starfish. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? And of course, as soon as I move the paper, the sun goes. But there it is without the white background. Love it. All right, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If the mold's not in my store today, just give it a couple of days and it will be there. I'll advertise it. Oh my gosh, noisy plumbers. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all again real soon for the next one. I'll have to do shells in it. Okay, take care. Bye for now.